Good afternoon, Keith Tebow from FRCMedia. Thank you for joining us today. There's been a lot of news recently in terms of the business climate here in Massachusetts and the pandemic. Governor Baker has announced that effective today, as we're filming this, Monday, January 25th, the curfew that's been in place and the stay-at-home order has been lifted, which means some businesses will be able to stay open a little longer. And we thought it'd be a good idea to get an update on our local business climate, as we have done quite so often. I'm pleased to be joined by, I guess, two of my regular guests here on the program, Michael O'Sullivan and Rick Kidder, the co-CEOs of the SouthCoast Chamber. Gentlemen, how are you?
Doing well, Keith. Good to see you.
Doing great, Keith. If we're regulars, I think that means that we ought to be on the payroll. And somehow that hasn't happened yet. So,
yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah.
Anyway, let me start with you, Mike. You know, the governor lifted the curfew. That's good news for a lot of local businesses, restaurants, gyms, and the like. What are you hearing from some members about how much of this will make a positive impact as local businesses continue to deal with the pandemic?
Well, the restaurants in particular are very happy that they'll be able to stay open later. It was the weekends, not being able to be open till like 10, 11 o'clock at night on the weekends really made a difference. Some people were saying that they make $3,000 an hour on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday night in those last 3 hours of the night. So it makes a huge difference, and they're very excited that they, starting today, that they can be open later.
And Rick, there's other businesses as well that will benefit from this, right? And what are you hearing from those businesses?
Well, to sort of play off on what Mike was saying, it's absolutely true that these expanded hours are going to help. Excuse me. And I think the next step is going to be the increased capacity, because that's where the difference is really going to be made. When restaurants can get back to 50% capacity and to 75% capacity, and then fingers crossed, and we get our vaccinations back to 100% capacity. That's what's going to make the big difference. But from what we've heard of businesses, of course, they're very pleased that things are starting to ease a little bit. It gives people a sense that we're getting our arms around this thing, even as we all wait for our vaccines.
Yeah. And I know that, that's been important. And, even though it's, the end of January, we can see spring coming on the horizon, and some of these businesses, particularly restaurants, may be able to, again, benefit from some outdoor dining, traditional outdoor dining, that may also be a benefit to them as we move forward. I want to shift gears a little bit, and Rick, I'll address this to you. Mm-hmm. We talked about this last time you were on, that the state is providing some extra financial assistance for local small businesses, right. Over $600 million. I'm sure many of our local businesses have been applying. Have you heard of any that have taken advantage of this thus far?
We've certainly heard of folks who are making their applications. Mass Growth Capital Corp, I think, through the governor, has made available something in the neighborhood of $658 million. That's a huge help for these small businesses. And I am sure that many of our members and many small businesses out there have got their applications in. They're going to be taking advantage of this because right now, quite frankly, any dollars help. This is an economy that needs to be propped up. We're very pleased that the governor was able to come up with this funding because it's crucial at this point. These businesses need that help. But a lot of businesses, I think, are going to take advantage of it. It wouldn't surprise me if they went through that whole $658 million in the first wave.
Yeah, and there's definitely a lot of opportunity there. Mike, are you hearing something similar in terms of that it's needed? And I guess another question would be, and I ask the two of you this all the time, any other federal money that may come down the pike? We know President Biden is looking at another stimulus, how that may impact business as well locally.
What I've heard very similar to what Rick has said. There's a lot of people that are interested. There's a lot of people that are in the application process. A lot of people need that money, but I don't know of anybody that's received the money yet. So they're working on that. The stimulus money, if there's additional stimulus money, that'll be very interesting to see. Everything's just new with President Biden now, and we just have to wait and see what happens.
I think also, Keith, we for the first time, the chamber for the first time was able to take advantage of making an application for PPP. That's something that's very important for us. We were out there trying to help small businesses access PPP and go through that process. Yet we weren't eligible ourselves. Now, in fact, we are in this second wave. And from what we're hearing, there are going to be President Biden's proposals will include a larger stimulus check to individuals. Those are dollars that we hope are going to get recycled into the economy quickly. We're really hoping that people, when they receive those funds, will actually be able to spend those funds, use them to help bolster the economy and to start the economic engine going again.
Yeah. That actually leads me to how you continue to service members. Rick, I know the Chamber's in the middle of a membership drive. Tell us a little bit about that, and what are some of the benefits and the benefits and what people can get by joining the Chamber in the next couple of weeks.
Well, we borrowed from the government, and we're calling it the Chamber Stimulus Plan. And what we're trying to do is to help small businesses grow by being a part of the Chamber. And part of what we've done is cut the cost for joining the Chamber. Most small businesses would be in the neighborhood of $325. We've taken $100 off of that for any size business who is not a member of the Chamber now and wishes to be so. In addition, we've put in close to $5,000 in incentives, mostly marketing based, giving them opportunity of getting free advertising or buy one, get one. Kinds of deals that will allow them to leverage their dollars a little bit better and get their name out. It's very important for us, yes, to service our members and for our membership to grow. But it's more important that as these companies come to us, that we actually give them the tools that they need in order to succeed. And we know that for most small businesses, the first thing they cut in their budgets when times get challenging is their marketing dollars. So we're trying to we've put together a package that involves radio stations, television stations, Cox Media, a whole vast array that will allow them to leverage those dollars and to take advantage of it and actually not only join the Chamber and get all that comes with that, but also to re-enter the world of marketing.
And Mike, speaking of marketing, as some of these new members are coming forward, I guess two questions. One, how has it been going thus far? And two, I'm sure you're recognizing those new members as well to give them a little extra bang for their buck through the Chamber's marketing arm, right?
Yeah, we will be recognizing them. We just started this morning, so it's going well so far. But again, we just started at 8 o'clock this morning. We took a little head start using social media last Thursday, Friday, and over the weekend. But I'd also like to give a shout out to Brad Simmons and Chris Johnson. Brad Simmons is from Simmons Insurance Group. He's one of the co-chairs of the membership drive. And Chris Johnson from Isaacson Solar is also a co-chair, and they're experienced ambassadors, and they've been selling memberships on our behalf for a long time. So we're confident that they'll do very, very well, and it's gotten off to a good start.
And what is the deadline? I believe is it the 5th of February?
Yes.
Yes, it's February 5th.
So that's the end of next week.
Yeah,
correct. Taping this.
So
Friday
it's a short-term drive. We've also asked some of our larger members to assist us with this and perhaps take out their book of business and see if they want to offer essentially scholarships to businesses that they do business with to say, hey, we think the Chamber membership is valuable enough that we'll actually bankroll it for you for a year. So we've asked some of our folks if they're willing to do that, and we're getting a good response.
Yeah, that's great. And Rick, I know the educational part of the Chamber continues in terms of providing members with input and educational opportunities so they can survive not only the pandemic, but even after that. And there's some events coming up that you'd like to promote.
Yeah, we have 2 workshops coming up this week, one on Thursday, one on Friday. Please go to our website, which is www.southcoast.com. You don't have to be a member to go. The first one is going to be on Paid Family and Medical Leave Act, which kicked in January. A lot of businesses really don't know how to navigate that. And so we have experts from Foley and Foley attorneys, employment law, who are going to be taking people through those steps. The second is going to be on the paid family, on the PPP and how to access the PPP, how to go through that process. And so we have two great ones sponsored by Bank 5 that are coming up this week. Just go to our website and you can register.
And also coming up in March is Education Summit, which I think you've done in the past, correct? The Chamber has been involved in that in the past.
Yeah,
correct?
originally Bristol County Chamber did it, and last year we were planning for it, and it was the same week that the governor shut the state down, so we had to postpone it. But we have it's March 12th this year at 9 a.m., and we have a fantastic group of speakers that have great local businesses, statewide representatives, and some national representatives as well to speak and talk about the early childhood education, the business imperative of early childhood education. It's incredibly important that we get children started before they turn 5. 90% of their brain development happens before they hit the age of 5. And, you know, in Fall River, New Bedford, kids start out behind the 8 ball, and we need to really work on changing that. And this really is about the business imperative. It's not just about those in the education field and what they need to do. It's also, how does this affect business? What can business do to help? And really trying to create a groundswell so that we can really make things change in Fall River and New Bedford.
Yeah. You know, Mike, I remember it was one of the last interviews that I did in person with you. We were at the Children's Museum with Joanne Sprague. We were talking about promoting this last year. I remember that. And then, you know, life changed.
Yeah, it was that if I remember, Keith, that was the day that we had to break the news to Joanne that it had to be postponed. Right. And of course, Joanne has been the chair of this event for years, and she's such a leader in the early childhood education community. We're lucky to have her again this year as the chair, but that was very disappointing last year when we had the excellent input.
Yeah,
and Keith, you know, it's really important that we, as a business organization, support education. That's the raw material that all of our businesses work with. And if we look at it, and you asked any business person what their most valuable asset is, it's their people. And so educating our kids, beginning at early childhood education and then all the way through to whatever level they attain, is extremely important. So we are strongly behind this initiative.
Yep, sounds good. All right, Rick Kidder and Michael O'Sullivan, co-CEOs of the One South Coast Chamber, as always. Thank you for joining me. We'll talk again soon. Take care.
Thank you, Keith.
All right, and thank you for joining us today here in FRC Media. I'm Keith Tebow. Have a great day.